welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And we're doing part 2. I was doing some yesterday, and in fact I'll show you because I've just flipped it over. We were making some stripes and things using masking tape and stuff, and it worked and it looked quite good, and I thought, yeah, that's a fun way of doing it. And then I thought, okay, let me see if I can find a way without doing masking tape at all. So I'm part way through it, and I thought I'd actually come on and make this part 2. We're using the same colours that we used before, which is Gorgeous Grape, Night of Navy, and Mossy Meadow. And I've got sponge daubers in the same one. Now this time all I've done is use scraps of paper which are left over from cutting things out. So heavy whisper white because it gives a little bit more substance. And all I'm doing is literally just putting them down in a diagonal pattern. So this one is going to come down here. Put this on here. I've kept the same colours on there so that when I'm sponging it, it means that it's not going to muddy the colour if I was doing it through on the blue. And all I'm doing is literally just sponging through. You can hold it through because you're not using it on a large piece. And just very sort of lightly build it up. When you come to the seam part, if you do it gently, you don't really need to worry about it being right up against the edge, because it doesn't seem to make much of a difference. So, you know, when you get your sponge dauber sort of up to the edge, just literally do it quite gently, build it up slowly. So it's quite easy to get blobby bits in with a sponge dauber, and on the camera it always looks far worse than it actually is in real life, but you do get those sort of blobby bits. So as I say, just build it up lightly, and then you don't tend to get quite as many blobby bits through. You can use a sponge, but the sponge dauber itself means that it gives quite a nice sort of look through on there. And then what I've done is I've done some bits of sort of green in between, and I might do another one of those. We'll have another blue one. So this time you put it from the bottom up, so you've got the stripe going in the opposite direction. And let's take the blue. But I just thought, you know, it's quite a lot of us are trying to be fairly frugal at the moment and not use what we've got rather than, you know, buying things new. We've got the new catalogue coming out soon, so I'm trying to make the most of what I've got and find ways of doing things which are simple and easy and yet quite fun to do, and don't use a lot of supplies. So okay, so that's that one. And then I'm going to do a little tiny green stripe. So you can see I've just put the green stripe. So for the green stripe, you literally just put a tiny little straight edge on there. Take the green and literally just run it through along on the edge. And it's relatively easy to do as long as you don't, you're hardly putting your sponge dauber across the side at all, so that you don't get it onto the other colour. You're just doing a very thin little line, and I think this line will probably be thinner than all of the others, so I'm literally just spending more time actually on the this piece than on the actual card part, but it should just give a very, might just do it a little bit more just up at the top. bring it down. It's like everything, all these things take a little bit of time, but when you pull it out, you've got a little faint line on there. So the last one we're going to do is we need to have one going one way and one going the other way. So we need a purple one now, and this is going to be in the last bit of the corner. So that's going to go right up to that corner, and then that's going to go on there. So that's going to be our purple one. And again, I'm trying to do it as gently as I can to build up the colour, because these colours are quite, can be quite bright. So you do have to sort of do it quite carefully, building it up. But again, I'm doing it fairly subtly on this one. And you could do as many colours as you want. You can do whatever stripes you want. You could do a you know, a red, white and blue. You could do a so sort of like a flag stripe. Yeah, whatever you fancy. It's just another way of doing a sort of geometric pattern, but just using inks. And this time all you need is just some scraps of paper over. So I think we're almost done on that one. Give it a little bit more of a bit on there. Okay, and then the very last bit on the edge there is going to be the Night of Navy again. So this one I just have to be a little bit careful, because I don't want it running through on there. But you can see, you can take it up almost to where you want it, and then just do it quite sort of gently on there, so it doesn't come through onto the other bit. If it does a little bit, it doesn't matter too much, but it just sort of gives. So there we have another quite nice sort of striped pattern on there. And then what would I do with that one? I've done some of these lovely little flowers that I cut out from the oh, what's it called? It's the Tea Together. So the Tea Together one, they've got lovely flowers on there, and the dies that coordinate with them, which are available at the moment. We have the new catalogue, which will be coming out in June, so and retired lists and things coming out as well. So but I think on that, this coming up just like that would look quite pretty in that way. And let's put Very Versailles, one of my favourite fonts, Always Thinking of You. Let's have that down at the bottom. And I'm just literally going to stamp it in black straight down on there, I think. I think that will work. Let me just get a block out that's the right size for that. I think that one will be the right one, because it's sort of a long, thin one, isn't it? Getting my block out of its case. Yes, that one will work nicely with that one. And so, Always Thinking of You. Whoops. Put it on there. Make sure I've got it as straight as I can. That looks about right, doesn't it? Yep. And I'm going to choose a good black ink. Here we go. Whoops. Little scraps and bits all over the place. You can see I've been playing, and this is how I enjoy just coming in and sitting at my craft desk and just playing and seeing what comes out. So you could do it whichever way you want. I think this is going to work that way. So I'm just going to put that at the bottom. Always Thinking of You. Yes, that's going to look nice. And then the little flowers just across on there. Looks quite pretty. And let me see if I've got a, oh yes, I've got some, put these back for a minute so they don't start drying out. I'll put them away later. So if I put that on there, I think I would put this on probably, let's try that on. Oh yes, that's quite nice actually. Makes it quite subtle and picks out the purple of the flowers. You could do it in the Night of Navy, but I think that that would work. I'd put it up with dimensionals, and there you are. You have another sort of card of doing it. And I'll show you one more that I did that I was sort of playing around with, and I did the stripes that we were doing. So in part 1, if you look back, and I then left a space. I then did some of the foliage from the Very Versailles, and then just literally did a little line with one of our Stampin' Right markers in the coordinating colour to sort of wrap it round the bottom. And on that one, again, I would probably take, I'm doing that on black because it stands out a little bit more. And I would then probably just put the 3 little flowers coming down on there. So that gives you another look. But as I say, play around and see what different shapes and things you can create and make just using you know, some masks and things like that, and just some sort of straight line shapes. It's quite fun to do and very simple and easy. So thank you so much for watching me. As always, stay safe, stay well, and look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.